Welcome, everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk 195. Steve is back with us.
Hey.
And if John's pretty face is available at any point, I think he might be stuck in traffic somewhere. We'll pull John in and rib him a little bit and see what he thinks about things. As per usual, super chats are open if you want a guaranteed answer to your topic and or question. We don't have anything to shill today other than go buy stuff from Skinny Play. Link is down below. We get a small kickback, so that's nice, and it goes into the channel. And that's about it, I think. I'll figure something else out. Oh, and I have photos later from Santa, who's been around from the last month prize draw. But Steve, how have you been?
Yeah, good, thanks. It's been a bit hectic, but it's nice to be back. It's been a long while.
I saw that you were having maintenance, or was it busy at
it's the busy, yeah, unfortunately. Well, no, it's fortunate, it's good, but yeah, with all the COVID things, I can't really have the guys here working. There's just not the space, so it's just me. And as much as I love it, I'm not going to work 24/7. So yeah, sometimes when there's too much, I've got to just close for a bit, catch up, and then carry on again. So back to work tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you also need some kind of life still besides all this.
Yes, yeah.
Where did you go? Oh, there. You're huge.
Steve disappeared. Oh, there he is.
Too big.
So yeah, but, how many people do you have working with you or for you?
Well, there's 3 of us, but the other guys work remotely now, so it's easier for where they're at. So they work from home rather than sort of coming in here. Yeah. So the workshop's built on the side of the house, effectively. So, sort of it's a case of bringing people into the house rather than, like going off to work to a unit somewhere.
It's properly British. Everything good is done in a shed.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That's the factory.
Well, yeah, British shed culture is something else. I don't think any other country really does that.
What?
Like
they do garage, I guess here it's the garage.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not a. So there's like 3 car brands.
Yes, that is the
thing. Yeah, but there's like 3 car brands in Britain that sell internationally that are all built in bloody sheds.
Oh, there's probably more than that. You got Lotus, you got Morgan. There's Noble. Not far from me. What else?
Really?
There's Can-Am. Again, do kit cars. There's loads of them. Yeah, as David W says, man caves. That's what this is.
It's funny.
It's a man cave where my wife won't throw me out because I'm earning money for her. So best of both worlds.
That's it.
That's the way to go. Where did it go?
I don't know. There's not. I guess the garage. There's a lot of people that work they have garage hobbies, I guess.
Yeah.
But usually when shit takes off, it goes big, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, Sandeep Caterham's. Yeah, good call. And Westfield as well. So yeah, British car makers. The whole shed culture. And TVR's coming back. We've got to mention them.
But isn't that a Russian shed now?
I suppose so.
What's the TVR?
Still short for Trevor.
TVR were amazing cars. They looked fantastic, but they basically broke as soon as you looked at them.
Yep.
It was one of these typical British products that's amazing once it works, but it didn't work all that often.
Yeah, the cabling isn't like that, but cars, yes. Yeah, it's just British cars that.
Yeah. Well, Jaguar was the same for the longest time.
Yeah, till Ford took them. And
Mr.
Brilliant. Mr. T has spotted the deliberate mistake. Nice one. I've got the headphones on backwards, and I'm not telling you why. So you're going to have to look up my YouTube channel, and you'll see on there, on the latest video, there is a very good reason for it.
Yes, I agree. The reason is good.
Yeah.
So
I wonder why I don't get the same comment, because our cords are on the same side.
Exactly. I think people just assume the camera's flipped some cameras reverse the picture,
Yeah.
whereas it's fairly
You
obvious.
had your camera reversed for a
shiny
while,
bit.
Mikey.
Yeah, because otherwise, if I was looking at anything else, I'd be looking that way,
Yeah.
which looks weird for a show when I'm looking away from everybody.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah, it's
how are you doing?
Yeah. It's an added bonus for me that the cable is on the right side now, but it's on the correct side for where it runs to. But that's not why they're swapped round.
Just gonna have to watch it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, people 51 in the chat, go leave us a like. We need some. And Frederick got his Prestige Creator Santa gift.
Nice. That
Yeah.
looks sweet, man.
I mean, thank you, Prestige, for allowing us to give out fancy gifts for Christmas. It's always fun to do.
Yeah, that looks sweet. I wonder how much of a difference in sound it is, because I never actually installed any of those stages sitting down, like flat. It's always on the wall. I always wondered how much of a difference.
Well, the drivers,
Minimal.
Yeah, the drivers come up at 45 degrees, so it pretty much sounds exactly the same, whether it's horizontal or vertical.
One of my BEOLAB 3s is emitting buzzing occasionally, Sandeep says.
Hmm.
I've had a whole week of buzzing. I fucking hate Moran's. I hate it. With the floating ground on the RCA.
Yes. Yeah.
Scumbag, brick bastards. You know how long it took me to figure this out? And I also completely agree with you, Steve. The DIY PowerLink connectors, RJ45s from B&O, they're shit. They're utter shit. 4 out of 5 cables were garbage. I had I got the regular ones. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That theater thing, dude, the project turned out awesome. Everything works beautifully now. But for the 3 hours that I couldn't get rid of the buzz, and it was like, okay, I got rid of the buzz in the front left. Now the rear right starts. How the fuck? And then it goes from this one to that one to the center channel. Now the subwoofer, and the subwoofer, you can't really hear the buzz because it's just right, like it just goes. Oh my god, back and forth, back and forth. And I realized, I'm like, okay, whatever I'm doing on the end side doesn't work. Tone out the cables, no problem. All pass. It's got to be in the goddamn PowerLink cable. So I took those, regular fully seated 1.5 meter white whatevers, RG45, did into the lab 3, no buzz. Son of a bitch. Went to the other one, did the same thing. Yeah, I threw them out. I'll never buy them again.
Yeah. So did you tie pins 2 and 7 together then to get the buzz to go? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I made special cables prior to going, right?
Yeah.
But I had a blue, the yellow and white cable. I had them as the triggers, right?
Yeah.
And I had to cut off the yellow because of the floating ground on the RCAs on the Marantz, right? My God, had I known, but how do you know, right? Because I don't spec these amps. This was just some that like, okay, surprise, motherfucker. Oh no.
Yeah. The old Marantzes are okay. I think it was about 2019 they swapped. They swapped something in the way they're wiring the outputs of the amps. Like you say, I think it's floating ground. So.
And it's just like, okay, this, that, okay, tie this to that ground the freaking box that the PowerLink cables were going into. And it's just like, how much more can I ground here? Like, should I grab some soil and put it on or shit to ground it more? Like how more do you ground things?
Yeah.
So then, the cables were the biggest culprit. And I don't know, I think it's the shitty PCB boards that they're using. I don't know, I cannot explain because I took the damn connector apart. And it's you can't see that there's anything wrong with it. I don't know. Bullshit. Hate you, B&O, for these stupid ass connectors, man. Sabotage my goddamn job, man.
You just got to use good quality plugs. That's the difference. There's some much better ones out there than the ones B&O officially use. So Yeah.
You know, I actually said it to myself when I was standing behind this goddamn. I'm like, should have fucking called Steve earlier.
Yes.
Should have just gotten it done with it. Not to be a freaking guitar hero here and try to do it myself. Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And I did it though. I made it.
Yeah. Anyway, Sandeep's getting noise on his Lab 3s. What are they connected to, Sandeep?
Is
it BMO?
I'm always angry. I love it.
I just had to poll whether you were
this
just
is
angry
cool.
or whether that was normal baseline behavior for you. Because if you're always angry, that becomes normal, and then it's no longer angry.
No.
So I stopped drinking on the podcast. I get pissed off.
But yeah, Sandeep, I reckon unplug and swap over two of the speakers if you've got one buzzing and one not, and just see if the buzzing follows that same speaker or stays on the cable, and that'll be your first step.
Yeah.
Obviously, swap the left-right switch over. But yeah, leave if it's just occasional, just leave them permanently in the opposite position, and then see when it appears. If it appears on the same speaker, in its
Then
new
there's
position.
something potentially in the power board. But if it goes with the speaker, then there's something potentially in the BeoSystem 4, which you're not going to like.
Or do like what he's saying, just buy a separate stuff instead of Lab 3 just in case. That's not a solution to fixing shit, bro. You just buy more of that.
Yeah, because they could have the same fault. So power boards, Lab 3s and 4s are horrendous. So yeah.
And that's
which
what I
one
had
do you
with
have?
Lab
Do you have
3.
the Mark 1s or the Mark 2s?
What's the difference, really, other than the amp chassis, I guess?
The power supply is different.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because you have that flip over pin where you can make them multi-voltage, or you can switch them from 240 to 110. So the Mark 2s you can take to like the US and you'll be fine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can unscrew them, and there's like it's one of those old-fashioned things you saw on a computer, right? Like out of the PCB board are like 4 or 6 pins with like one of these
jumper,
and you can flip that jumper to a different position, and then it'll accept 110 volt.
That's on the BeoSound 1. It was the same, the CD variant. Variant.
Yeah.
Sounds like a freaking expert here. Yeah, that one had the same thing.
Yeah, but I suppose we need to put the big disclaimer on it before you move your speakers from Europe to the US or the other way around. Have a look on the back, because it will say on the label if it's 240 volts only or if it's 110 to 240. So do not plug them in unless you know that they're right. So yeah, because I know it's one of these things. Most of us, we get that, but I do get a lot of people who email and go, I've just moved house, I've moved to another continent, I've plugged my speakers in and they're all fried. What do I do? So, yeah.
You read the goddamn label first, stupid. What the hell is wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
By the way, I have more pictures. Santa was also in Texas.
Oh, right on.
So, by the way, I've never actually had 8000s to test these covers with, but I didn't know, and I didn't see your video, but the status light looks really cool to me with these prestige covers.
Say.
Yeah, I do like the way that comes out.
So does he have an actual lens in there to break up the light to the wider, or is it just the effect of the
just reflection? The effect of the grills, how it shines. Yeah, really nice.
That is cool. Almost looks like the Knight Riders. It's looking like. You should have that.
Brandon, since you're watching now, you have to get that like perm hair as well.
Oh, here's a funny thing that I realized yesterday. I got rid of the Avant, so that's gone now, and the reminiscence or the remainder stays on the Halo remote. I cannot delete the TV from the remote anymore because I can't connect to the TV for some reason.
Oh, so, the app is a bit like that. You have to delete it before you.
Yeah, but
so
I deleted it from the app, so I no longer have it. Right, I deleted it from my remote control. But if I go to the app and try to delete it from the Halo, it says cannot connect to the product. So I got a factory reset the Halo, I guess, in order to get it working. So somebody in B&O, guys, if you're listening, y'all might want to figure out how to do that, because I'm sure that the dealers would come across it more often than I guess regular mortals, since they would sell their on-floor stock, right? And I don't think that I would always remember to delete the TV before, like if the dude's buying it, fuck yeah, right? Turn it off. I'd factory reset the television. So then, it starts off basically like it's out of the box. But I wouldn't think that, like, hold on a second, sir, I have to go delete it from all of my remotes. Otherwise, we have to take a toothpick to fucking everything and reset everything because,
No, you see, this is one of these things. It's like with your anniversary with your girlfriend. Forget it once, you'll remember it every time after that. Same with resetting the products on the Halo. Yeah.
That would be a good analogy for floor stand.
Wait, so from experience, that never goes away the longer it goes on?
No, never.
But
you start to get that angst a few weeks ahead of time, going, there's something due, I don't know what, I don't know. Oh no.
Oops.
Crap. I was banking on that.
So yeah, it's this was fun time. I don't know why that doesn't allow you to delete it. And if they're gonna do a software update that allows for that, you might also hopefully move the battery status and the Wi-Fi status in the BO Remote Halo into its service page. I think that would be more suitable for it than having it on the screen, which to me is zero information other than it's just the acne on both corners on the top. And second of all, I could care less how far down my damn battery is, because it still gives you a huge warning across the entire screen that your battery's fucking dying at the end. So why do we have to have that and that, and a booster shot?
We need to know if Christian's here before we rant too much, don't we?
Yeah, well, somebody somewhere, listen, do something. So, yeah, I just don't like that app thing that doesn't delete. But the Halo's cool. It just needs a little bit more work, just a little bit more work. And I can't wait to get myself hands on the BeoLiving intelligence at some point of my lifetime.
They still haven't figured out how to get it to Canada?
It's fucking unobtainable here, apparently, from the Quebec side. This is I'd probably be better off scoring a half a pound of depleted uranium in a fucking pickle jar than buying a BeoLiving intelligence for some reason.
Je ne parle pas BeoLiving intelligence.
Jesus Christ, man. Like, I'll just email them myself and get it sorted out, because this is getting too funny now.
Yeah, I mean, you can get them south of the border, can't you? So could you get it shipped up from the States?
I'm honestly gonna order it from the guys in Florida.
Yeah.
And bring the wood back to the forest, I guess, when I move there. But I definitely want to leave. I want to leave Nick with my gateway here, so he can, at least have something to play with. Because 9 out of 10 of my clients have a gateway in their house.
Yeah.
Well, when your house is big enough and it sort of justifies it, it is kind of nice to have like everything off.
Yes.
That's the best part about it, man. That like people don't realize that it takes a little bit of time to get trust or to gain trust in the system, because you always like, did it turn off? And then not. Dude, it turned off. Don't worry about it. It fucking did it. So I just, it's easy. Just press goodbye when I'm leaving. Like everything's going, in the house, TV, all that. The only thing that I have control is my hood fan, but that could be also fixed if I lived here. Yeah, and it's just you press one button and everything goes away. It's wicked.
Could you not set as part of the shutdown sequence that it just flashes one light?
Yeah.
Like as a closure.
The way I have it is to flash that one light. I actually have it so when I press goodbye, it turns off all the lights, but the gateway then goes back and tells the foyer light to turn back on.
Ah, right.
And because in 6 years that I've lived here, I never left my house, I don't think, on one try. There's always, oh, fuck, I forgot something. I forgot the fobs or something. I always come back, right? So I just have that light for 1 minute to be on while the door, everything's closed. And I can still come back from the elevator. Oh, shit, I forgot my wallet or something. So then the light's still on, so you don't have to do anything.
You wait till you've got kids and you want to go out the house. It's 20 minutes later before, oh, I forgot my shoes. I need the toilet. I'm hungry. Yeah. Can I go eat?
Yeah, I don't think I'll have kids. Maybe I will. I don't know. You need a person to have with kids. So I ain't got that either. And I'm not adopting shit. And I'm definitely not into the dogs anymore. I've had dogs most of my young life, and yeah, they're cool and shit, but it gets really old, especially here in Canada, when you got to roll out at minus 35 because he's got to log off somewhere, and then you got to bring it home.
Over on Twitch, Tigger says he'll date you.
I was just going to say, there's 50 people on there, give or take. I'm sure there's somebody who tunes in as your secret admirer every week. So perhaps if they want to say hi.
Yeah. So
email me, I'll set you up.
Oh yeah, the matchmaker Mikey.
Stephen S asked, do you think B&O will release a 42-inch BeoVision now that LG is releasing a 42-inch OLED? Thinking maybe a 42-inch LG screen plus be a stage in the style of an Eclipse would be great. I think it would be great, but with the stage it wouldn't work because the stage is so much wider. So maybe with a level, potentially, I could see that, but how big, honestly, is the market for 42-inch TVs? I wonder.
I think they should go. I think they should go smaller than 42-inch if they want to have a market for the kitchen TVs. Because even in the mansions, dude, like a 32-inch TV is still quite dominant in a kitchen space.
Yeah, but this is where stage comes in, isn't it? I mean, you just choose any TV and plug it in.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think that the era of small screen televisions is ever going to come back or reemerge the way that we're racing to the bigger. It's always been about the bigger, right? Nobody's ever gone, oh yeah, do you have a 28-inch version of that? Like, no, bro. You go with a 42 or 55 or whatever, 65, 77.
But then how long ago did the 103-inch BeoVision 4 come out, and we've never got back up to that size again?
I want them to.
That's what, 2011 maybe?
Yeah.
2010?
I was thinking 2010, 2011-ish, so yeah.
Brennan says over on Twitch it would look like an Eclipse with the speaker wider. They could, but I'm not...
I think it'd look out of place as hell.
Especially on such a small scale.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I think the Eclipse is a lot more polarizing than the Harmony is.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot more love for the Harmony design than there is for the Eclipse design.
Absolutely. It's the movement, isn't it? It's just pure theatre.
Yeah, but it's also... I mean, the Eclipse, where they sort of did the BeoVision 7 thing, but mixing it with a BV14, but not really. Yeah. And it just sort of became, I don't know, not ugly, but odd.
It's not a sort of a proper hark back to B&O design history.
No.
But it's not distinctive enough to carve a new path. It's nice, it sounds good, it looks good, but yeah, I don't know in terms of design language where it really fits in for B&O.
Also, just to comment on a comment, I guess, does anyone know how much the Pro license on the BLI costs? I think it's $600 and it's a one-time payment. If you have a BeoLiving intelligence and if you have a BeoLink gateway, then it's $10 a month or $120 US per year. And then your IFTTT and your Google Home services work flawlessly. If you don't have the BLI Pro, then you cannot link up Lutron Radio Raw into the gateway, so you have a little bit of a limitation of how much you can actually control. So that's the trick behind it. I would definitely recommend, if you're not MASTERLINK socket dependent, get a BLI. It's a much faster processor. It can run a whole bunch of extra shit on it, more IP cameras and so on and so forth. So there you go.
Steven says I have a 48-inch contour and it's a little too big for a corner TV. I have a small house. I understand that. I do wonder though how many of the B&O customers actually live small.
No, I think there are a lot who do. I mean, I use a 32-inch BeoVision 8 still, but I think now it's a case of stage is the one size fits all for smaller screens.
Mm-hmm.
You just put any generic screen that suits your needs, and then stage gives you sound, and it's
Plus the stage works quite literally from 48 and up.
Yeah,
I mean, but they don't have anything below 48 inch, and like David says, the Eclipse looks a bit accidental. Well, I can assure you it wasn't an accident. They deliberately chose that. But I understand what you're saying. But I wouldn't mind them making a smaller contour of 42 inches. I just wonder how many people will actually want to buy that, and if it's worth it for B&O to do that.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago,
what price would it be though? What would be the price point for a 42-inch contour? You know.
Well, the 42-inch screen must be €1,000, €1,200, something like that. Then if you take the Eclipse now, that's $2,000. So you're $3,000 already. So I doubt you'll be done under $4,000.
Yeah, and you've got the problem of how it looks as well. As you scale down that speaker bar, the proportions never really carry down. And when you look at things like the BeoVision 6s that got quite clumsy as you went down to the 22 and 23 inch. So yeah, I don't know style-wise whether it would work.
Well, same kind of goes for the Harmony in 88, in my opinion. It looks a bit weird when the sort of squareness goes away because those wings become so long.
Yeah. Yeah, there are points where the design stops working functionally or optically, I guess, or whichever way you want to put it.
I think a Harmony with 83-inch panel will sell like hotcakes because it's not an enormous step up from 77 in terms of price, but it's the bigger screen that's affordable. And now that the LG prices are kind of really low for the size of panel you get. Like right now, I can buy a G1 for like $4.5, $5 for 83 inches. It's like, bloody hell. 3 years ago, that was a dream for 77.
Yeah. But then I think with Contour in particular, it will work with bigger screens, sort of design-wise, but I can't see it going smaller. When I'm not predicting what B&O will or won't do, because I don't know. I don't have any real interest.
I honestly think if they were to do a 32-inch or 40-inch TV or 42-inch TV, it would be something like a Contour type of thing.
But Contour wouldn't look right at that size.
But it wouldn't be a stage underneath it. I think they would have to develop a specific sound box for it on its own. Like it would have to be a sole purpose design for that chassis of the TV. Like there's nothing in their portfolio right now that they can just grab off the shelf and stick it underneath the television and say, okay, yeah, this is a sound bar now. Like even level would look a little freaking weird because it's not wide enough, but
there is the Verizon soundbar, isn't there? The smaller one that they developed that came out a few weeks ago.
The little looks like a baguette.
But
so
as I understand it, they only tune the sound of it and somebody else makes it.
Right. So you don't think we'd see that as a B&O product then?
No, it has B&O branding, but it's not made by them.
Right.
The Verizon Stage -2, whatever it's called. I mean, they could do something like that because it has 2 drivers fewer, but
yeah.
I guess it also depends a bit on, with 42 inches, do you want the fully fledged Atmos thing going on? Because
at that point, I would just care for a stereo. Like, you're not gonna sit in front of an Atmos TV at 42 inches. What are you, high? Like,
some people are, and they're watching us. Hello.
Yes. Hey.
I can light another doobie then. Shit. No, I don't know. I wouldn't bother with like a whole true image thing in it. Like, there's no point. I don't think that even be a bother to have power links outputs, because why would you need a surround
Hey,
sound
you
out
always
such a
need
small
power link
television?
outputs. Everything should be cabled.
I agree.
Well, yeah,
Put them on show.
But if there's no speakers to be attached to it, right? Like, if it's just not a true image, it's just a stereo.
No, disagree completely. You always put the power link sockets on, because
They didn't
one
do it
day
on the
somebody will
Contour.
say, Mr. B&O dealer, can I buy a subwoofer? Can I buy some rear speakers? Can I buy an extra center? Always put power links on, because then one day you'll upsell the extras.
Yeah, but that's not what the case is for the Contour.
No, but there should be. There should always be on
There
there.
should be
The
power.
stage,
I agree
Contour,
with you, but
everything.
in the same token, for that small of a TV, I
No,
wouldn't
10
even
inch
bother.
screen, don't care. Put power links on. It should
It
be
works
able to
back in the
drive
day
surround.
with BeoVision 8 and 6s and whatnot.
Well, yeah, the BeoVision 8 32 that I got, that one's got power link outputs, but it's not a surround engine. It's just you can just put bigger speakers to it if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
but that's fine.
Which
That's
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a good start. It doesn't matter if it's a single stereo output. You can put a subwoofer on there. You can put some side surrounds and just keep stereo, but make it bigger. Like Mikey says, you can go for just some bigger speakers and switch the internal ones off.
Some 28s.
Yeah. In fact, there's an interesting one. I don't want to break the flow, but in a bit, it might be interesting to talk about getting 28s working on all sorts of TVs and receivers and things. Maybe not Marantz, but anything else.
What's that?
This is the Hall Audio Wi-Fi streamer.
Ah, yeah.
And
Nice.
I received this, and now I need to open it.
Oh, you haven't even opened it yet?
No, it arrived.
Just before the podcast.
No.
Threw it in the window.
No, but it arrived at a time where I quite literally was doing other things, and amongst the other things was cleaning up vomit from a cat. So.
Right on. See, and that's why I don't have pets.
And we all love an unboxing on video, don't we? So
That's right.
Yeah.
Especially when you can't see what he's unboxing.
I'll hold it up. It's not large.
That's what she said.
it's almost like Henrik's here.
There you go.
Yeah, I still don't speak Danish. Sorry.
So what is this again?
The whole Wi-Fi. Hold on, I'll get it up. Wi-Fi. This little box which has HDMI ARC built in and a 5V trigger signal.
Yeah.
And
why do they put that stupid fabric tag logo on this shit like it's laundry? Roku does it. No, these guys do it. Why is that?
I suppose so that nobody else can buy them, resell them on, and make it their own product or make it unbranded.
I guess. I don't know. I'm so not into that.
But yeah, I'm gonna make a review off of this. But this is, I mean, the size. It's smaller than an Apple TV, and you can have your HDMI in and stereo out that way via RJ45, and it worked with all B&O speakers. And
that's insane that they have an RJ45 PowerLink output on it.
I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I've not tried that with 28s yet. That would be the interesting thing.
So my question to chat was, should I try it with 28?
Absolutely. Sorry. Just ignore me.
Yeah, do it.
Chat. Say what you think, but yeah, you should.
Because if needed, I'm not going to drag this TV over, but I can get the 55 off the wall in the bedroom. And I'll drag it over here somewhere, and that should work. And then I'll show it functioning. or not, but it works with all other kinds of BEOLABs.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that is sort of normal PowerLink will work.
Lab 5s need data, so they could be the oddity. But yeah.
So, I mean, this is, to me, a box you can just, like, here, for your little tag, well, you can just put it down like that and you'll never see it.
But I know it's there.
Then you cut it off. Crying.
I bet there's a little link to a warranty chip in there, and the whole thing crashes when you cut the tag.
That's right. You rip it out, and that's it. It's like pulling that little plastic divider from batteries, and now it's on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen says use your 28s with
Yes.
Apple TV and AirPlay, and it works great. Yes, it does.
Right. I've got a load of other ways as well. So when we're ready to talk 28s, I can give you.
Oh, we're there now. I just this just came in the mail, and it was like this is this also has a streamer in it, so you can like Bluetooth or AirPlay or Chromecast to this.
Yes.
But in terms of if you are new to B&O, I think this is such a great product because you can get into stereo and you can buy yourself some pentas or some ones or whatever, right? And it just it gets you going. It's
yeah.
I mean, since the stage is now starting at what is it, €1,800 for the plain aluminium one. Let's say you love enormous speakers like we do, and you love some pentas or some BEOLAB ones. With this and some secondhand pentas or ones, you're done for about half the price of the stage.
Yeah,
which is insane. But it works with your TV.
Yeah, but yes, as Stephen S was saying, the as long as you've got the second gen Apple TV 4K, plug it in an HDMI ARC socket on the TV. Whatever source is playing on the TV, it could be internal tuner, Blu-ray, whatever. Audio's passed back to the Apple TV, and it will AirPlay it to the speakers. So all you've got to do is set up in the Apple Home app, configure a room, put the Apple TV in that room in the app, and also the 28s, and then you've got the option of AirPlaying to them. And as long as you don't power down the Apple TV, it shouldn't need resetting. It should just keep that stream open. There's a few other options. You can do it wirelessly using a transmitter one. You can go optical out the TV into the transmitter one. As long as you've got an infrared remote on the TV, not Bluetooth, B&O do a little gadget that most of the dealers don't know about. That's called an RCV 3000, and they can get it on their stock system. I think it's about £50-60 British. Plugs into the transmitter one, and it gives the transmitter one volume control, which is critical. So then the TV remote works the transmitter one and controls the speaker volume. So you've then got Wiser to the Lab 28s from any TV, any AV receiver, as long as it's got infrared remote.
You also have a bunch of cable options.
Oh yeah.
Even RCA. You can all pick it on the website. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like I as an idea, I have, like I said, I just opened it. I haven't tested it yet, but as an idea, this is bloody fantastic to get into B&O. Because
don't use Ethernet cables for your speakers. It's RJ45. It looks like regular computer cables.
It's not. No, the plug looks like it. That's about all the similarity you got going on. Well, it's the exact same fashion of it.
Yeah, but you've got to have it shielded, and the pairs of wires should be shielded. Otherwise, you start getting noise from other electrical devices around, and your speakers.
Dude, I've seen jobs that people ran MASTERLINK on 2 Cat5 cables.
Oh,
why is it buzzing?
It's unshielded.
Yeah.
Well, I had no idea, right? Because whoever did this fucking job years and years ago, they shoved the cables into the hole, so all you see is MASTERLINK coming out, right? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's got to work, right? So I take the plate off, pull. Oh, something stuck. Pull out the splice. I'm like, holy fuck, dude! I didn't even know that this would ever work.
Yeah.
I had no idea this would ever work. 2 Cat5 cables. I just spliced to a MASTERLINK and there was buzz, but it was very minimal. But I was shocked that some people can pull off that kind of a botchery and get away with it.
Yeah. Answering the Duck Tour in the comments. Lab 5s to a core. There's a workaround needed for that, and B&O know about it. There's an issue with the core that needs a little converter. Hall audio. I haven't tried that with Lab 5s. The reason I'm saying just to check that is that most voltage triggers that you'd normally use for a simple setup to get BEOLAB speakers working without
hang on, what's wrong with the core? What's wrong with the core?
Right, I'll come back to that in a second. I'd check Hall Audio's website first for this streamer and just see what they say, because if it doesn't mention BEOLAB 5, it probably isn't going to work them. BEOLAB 5s look for data signals on the power link as well as a voltage trigger. So if they've configured it to work with Lab 5s, they will say so, because it will be a big technical job to do. So only go for Lab 5s on there if they say it'll work. So the Blue Sound node is a different setup. That is not producing an automatic trigger. The Lab 5s will connect to that on their line input. So you can either go coaxial digital audio out the node, or a Sonos port, for example, into the digital input of the Lab 5s, or you can go stereo analog audio out to a pair of Lab 5s. And that's fine, but just remember you need the B&O remote to switch on the Lab 5s before use. Whereas if a product, say for example the core, is connected to Lab 5s, then the core tells them to switch on. So you can pick up your phone, switch on the core, and you don't need a remote for the Lab 5s. So that's the difference. That's why PowerLink to Lab 5s can be easier.
Do 5s automatically wake up an RCA signal?
No.
No.
They have to be switched on using
you have to
either the radio button for the RCAs or the CD button for the digital input.
Yeah.
So coming back to Willie's question,
the Hall can also come with RCA.
Yeah, but I connected core into the 5s. I have a few clients that have it. I have no issues with it.
Yeah, but it doesn't work consistently every time. It's the way that the commands it sends out on the data on PowerLink. So what B&O suggests is that you have an optical to coaxial digital converter box, and you connect PowerLink from the core to the Lab 5s, and as well you come out the optical of the core into the converter, and then you go into the digital input of the Lab 5s, because the core isn't able to fully control whether the 5s think they're seeing a digital signal or a PowerLink signal.
Ain't that a bitch for $1,300 freaking dollars that they don't like? And you get 3 freaking streaming sources and you still can't even power up your goddamn flagship speakers from yesteryears. That's some bullshit on a stick.
In fact, Mikey, shall I just WhatsApp you the diagram that B&O use for that? So it's in the public domain. But what this does is it should give an easy, if we can show it on screen, here we go, core to Lab 5 setup. It sort of explains the way that the wires run. And then obviously if anybody does want to drop me an email, I can send that out to you. But it just makes it easier to see. And it's not an expensive little box. I don't sell them, but they're about £10-20, and I can help with all the cables. But yeah,
apparently not now because you shut down, bro.
Yeah, tomorrow morning back to work.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, core will work with Lab 5s, but don't just plug a power link in and expect it to always go. What you should do is add the little converter, put the optical and digital cable into the Lab 5s.
How exactly do you mean they don't always go? As in,
they don't turn on?
Sometimes the Lab 5s will switch on to and be expecting a digital signal from the core, because the core is in N radio or N music setting as the Lab 5s understand it in old school data link. So they're then expecting a digital signal on the coaxial input, but they can't take an optical input from the core.
Yeah, you got to convert it.
Yeah. So probably what, I suppose, in very, very simplistic terms, I would have suggested that maybe the core should be giving a radio command to the Lab 5 so that they always pick their PowerLink input. Even
I have those converters too. I actually have the silver one on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Works fine.
Yeah.
That's weird that you have to do that.
Yeah.
So can you power the converter from the core's USB then, just to circumvent less cabling?
I wouldn't go there myself. For the sake of a power socket, I'd run it separately. Because you don't want to.
You want to streamline, dog. You want to streamline.
Yeah. No, I'd run a separate. It's only a little power brick. But if you think back to when the good old days, when you'd run Lab 5s off a Sound 9000, and you'd run your digital cable for CD and your PowerLink cable, which is both your analog signal, your radio and your aux, plus your data, volume commands, on-off signal. So now, effectively, the core is replacing your Sound 9000 in this setup, but it can't provide that digital connection. It doesn't do an electrical coaxial digital. So whenever you switch to net music, net radio in old language, the Lab 5s are expecting the signal on their digital input. So this converter makes that possible.
They're the most peculiar speaker that B&O has made, and especially it comes out to surface nowadays where, like, let's say the BEO System 3 has died and people want to move on to a different TV, and now, oh my Lord, how do I freaking turn this into something that actually still kind of works and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can harvest a Playmaker, I guess, and just run RCAs into the...
You can, but then you're limiting the speakers. These speakers really come to life and they sing properly when they've got a digital signal. It sounds so much better than analog. And yes, to answer the chat question to the ductor, yes, that's correct. PowerLink for the data, optical for the sound when you're playing from the core. But it's a minor workaround, but it's important just to consider this. If you're going Lab 5s to core, that's the only setup where you need this. Everything else works fine.
Still annoying.
Yes, yeah. I think...
it's not that it's annoying, it's just... I think that it's more or less a little bit of an oversight on B&O's end, because, like, did you not think that somebody's going to have a Lab 5? You only sold how many tens of thousands of pairs?
Yeah.
Right?
The issue I find is where customers have come to me where they've got their Lab 5s, they've bought a core from their local dealer or the B&O website, and they go to plug it in and they just go, hey, it's not working. And they spend hours of frustration, and I go, yeah, it's easy to do. Here's the diagram, here's the cables, that's where to get the converter. But they go, what? You know, I wanted my music working. I thought that would be enough, and now I've got to go and
this and that. Yeah, now I got the hoops to jump through now, right?
Yeah, and this information is available to all B&O staff. So
yeah, but if you don't read it, you don't know it. And that seems to happen quite often, that they don't read the info bulletins.
Yeah.
I used to sit on the ROS website all day long. If I had no clients at a shop or it was quiet in the store, I would sit there and, in fact, I would, if I were to fly to like San Francisco or Chicago for the meetings and stuff, I would read BeoLink or MasterLink handbook. That's my read, like the whole 150 pages of it, and just read and sit in the airplane and educate myself. But then you know, you read it a few times over, it's more like a Bible, right? And then all this shit. But I guess that's where you gained that well of information. Some people go, how do you know all this stuff? Well, I wasn't fucking born with it. You know what I mean? It's not Maybelline. I studied, man. I learned. I tried. I fucked around. I failed. I broke things. I fried things, and I got zapped and shit. Like, how do you find out otherwise, man? You can't. If you don't get burned, you never know how hot the fire gets.
Exactly. And on that topic, if you're married, bit of insulating tape over your wedding ring before you start on anything electrical. Voice of experience.
I take jewelry. I don't wear jewelry, but rings and watches are off when we lift TVs and all that, because that's relentless. Even with the G-Shock, which I specifically wear because it's got rubber everything, right? Or rubberized. it's still got a metal clasp, so there's a potential risk. So I always take that stuff off. I never do anything that requires handling aluminium in close proximity to other metal objects. Like even my pants, like I wear fucking tactical pants to work because they're comfortable, but my belt is also tactical, which has plastic buckle on it. So even if I do rub on accidentally when you're holding a 75-inch Avant, like that's gonna get up and close and personal, especially when you're going up the stairs. And that's the last thing I want to think about is like, oh fuck, I just ruined the edge of the frame with my belt buckle, right?
Yeah.
So
when I started in electronics as a teenager, one of the old guys who I learnt from, on his wrist, he'd got an enormous burn scar, all white, and he says, "Yeah, I got a metal watch strap on. Put my hand in a telephone exchange frame to redo some connections, and just caught the wire where somebody was making a call, and there was a fault on the exchange, so he got 250 volts.
Fuck.
Yeah, that took months to heal. Oh yeah, tinfoil hat. Yes. No.
That'll do it. That'll save you from a lot. Even 5G, baby. Yeah, that's I don't wear jewelry of any kind.
Wait, didn't we establish that 5G is melting all the screens off the remote? So we make little tinfoil hats for our Beo remote ones.
Yes. And you can tell where your nearest 5G transmitter is by seeing which way the glass has migrated on your remote one.
Oh Lord, yeah, it hurts. Nick's remote is messed up completely now. It just keeps rebooting. Every time you pick it up, it just goes bang on Olufsen screen.
Lord.
So I don't know what's happening there. I think they have a shite badge of remotes, and it might not be just the glass. And I think that just there's a bad batch of these remotes coming around for some reason.
It's good enough badge. By the way, with the triggers and whatnot, with BEOLAB 5s, it's not like it can fry anything, right? Like it doesn't.
No, it just won't work if it hasn't got the circuitry. In fact, what's the website? Let me just have a look and see if they mention BEOLAB.
No, they don't. They just
no. So don't use it for BEOLAB 5s. Then you'll just end up.
Well, my dealer has a set of BEOLAB 5s for sale, so I thought I could maybe drive by and see if it works.
I would try it out.
I mean, I'll ask him
with your luck, it'll like trigger properly. It'll work properly, and then when you recommend it to someone, they buy it and it won't. That's what I think.
What you'd have to do then with Lab 5s would be, I mean, I can help with the cabling for this. You'd just come out the RJ45 connector on the Hall product. You'd split out twin RCAs, phonos, and you go into the analog inputs. But you need to keep a BO4 remote, press the radio button when you want to switch them on, and they'll switch onto the analog input.
So you just need the BO remote then to switch them on, but volume is over RCA.
Well, volume, you've got the choice. You can either leave them set fairly high on the BO4 and then use the Hall audio device for volume control, or set that to maximum, forget it, and use the
because this does have an ARC port, so you can use your TV remote, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. So in that case, just leave the Lab 5 set at about 60, 70%.
80 if you're Willie.
Yeah, exactly. They get a little bit hissy at high volume.
Right. I ain't scared. I sent off my TV yesterday with a bang. Holy cow. The guys came in. It's one of my long time clients that bought it for his house. And I send it off with a Deepwater Horizon because he's never seen that scene. I'm like, I wanted to hear the 90s and such, right? So I played some music on it and all that. And then the last thing that TV played in this apartment was the Deepwater Horizon explosion of the rig. And they're sitting just like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, dude, the 5s are nothing because they have 5s that like comparatively to these, like you can't. I've had 5s here and they sound like speakers. They don't sound like a wall of sound that nothing behind it would be. That you could imagine it, there's the speaker right there because I can hear it. No, it's a wall of sound and it's insane. And even that wall of sound, I think my next podcast will be I'll be standing or sitting in front of 2 big boxes because I'm gonna box up my 90s now.
As long as you don't sit in your Eames chair, it's all fine with me.
That's one of the problems that I have with the Eamster. I can't really box up. It doesn't fit through the fucking door in box, right? So
Wait,
I
you
have
can't
to,
take
like,
the legs off?
I'm not taking it apart, dude. There's no way I'm taking that chair apart. It came in one piece. It's gonna be in one piece till the death do us part. Amen. I'm gonna build the box for it here, and then take it downstairs, and then put it in the box, and build it all over again. So
shouldn't you build a box in the hallway then?
why would I build it in a hallway?
If the
I
box
can't get
doesn't...
through because I can't get through the fucking door in the outside lobby too.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to bring it all the way the fuck out to the parkade and then do it there.
Yeah.
Which another thing is that I'm kind of, it's not that I'm worried, but I don't know how this is gonna work because I need to get the pot storage lot, like that, you know, the container, right? Because I'm not just gonna fucking load it in a U-Haul and drive it to Florida the next morning. So I'm gonna throw it all in the pots container, but now there's probably gonna be an issue of where can I place that pots container. I might just throw it in the, like, I'm the way I see it, when you're quitting, they can't fire you, right? So who am I going to piss off on my last day of moving the shit out of here?
Who cares?
Right? It's the one day of inconvenience. Like, fuck off. What are you going to chase me to Florida now? And what? You know? Like, what are you going to do about it?
You have to win friends and influence people.
Yeah.
So, I just need to, I'm going to contact the condo board. I still have till the end of March in this apartment, so I have time. I have plenty of time to, I think I'm moving a little too early on taking it all down, but I'd rather have it all down and ready to go in a moment's notice than scrambling for shit, especially like the small stuff. I don't know when was the last time you moved, Steve, but you know how it is, I guess. You could imagine.
15 years ago. Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, so then you would have a fucking headche and a half to move now.
Oh, yes. Yes, ALMANDO, that's the thing. Looking at the comments.
ALMANDO box?
That's the one I was trying to think of. Admittedly, I've never used ALMANDO myself because over the years, I've emailed them a few times with questions where customers said, oh, I'm going to buy this. And they've never, ever come back to me. So if anyone out there is from ALMANDO, please give me a shout because I can never recommend ALMANDO products because I just never hear from their guys. But in theory, the ALMANDO decoders work with BEOLAB 5. They do produce the data. But in practice, I can't speak for them because they don't ever answer me.
Your sister's running ALMANDO box.
Yep. Works fine with BEOLAB 12s and 2s and...
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's ARC too, right? eARC. So it controls volume from the TV.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's literally ALMANDO. It's a German company, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. But I'd say definitely make sure you know what you need to do, before you buy the product, because there is the risk they may not come back to you if you've got questions. I don't know if anyone else has had a different experience, if maybe they just don't like me. But...
I've emailed them once or twice as well with questions and also never ever heard back.
Right, okay. So, I mean, for me, that's... Because
But I've spoken to other people that have used their stuff and they had questions and they got a response within a day.
Oh, right.
So I don't want to disparage them, but all I can say is, like, I've had the same experience as you.
Yeah. I mean, I consider customer service to be the one thing that, everything.
Maybe they don't respond to English. They lost the war. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why wouldn't they respond.
I don't know. Maybe it's the specific question. Maybe they have a very aggressive blocker of emails. I don't know. I forget. But sometimes the Gmail thing puts the weirdest stuff into spam folder when it's absolutely not.
Yes, and I'm very aware that for whatever reason they may not want to talk to me. So, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm in the industry. So yeah, I'm not saying that ALMANDO will never come back to you. I'm just sort of saying I'm not able to actively recommend them because they haven't responded to me. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm hoping it's not representative.
As for the previous topic, the whole audio people are super responsive.
Yes.
That's how this came to be here.
Yes.
Because was it like a month and a half ago? Henrik mentioned it, and he used it in a build in the garage for one of his friends, and we talked about it, and that's how it came to be. Because it's I love this in terms of like easy access for stereo, but in all seriousness, though, how many people want fives just in stereo for their TV? I doubt it's very many people. I mean, fives work the best, in my opinion, with a BeoVision of any kind. So it's
Which?
The BEOLAB fives work the best with the BeoVision.
Yeah.
I mean, 50s and 90s are sort of different animals because they do whatever. And I like
they still work better with the TV because then you can actually preset control them, right?
Yeah. But not only that, like I like it that they auto wake up from RCA and you can set your sound presets automatically to the input.
Hey, John's here.
There you go.
Stops. We need it. We need him on.
There you go. Let's go, buddy.
Let's see what happens to the Skype call, but let's add John. John's pretty face is ready for us to be
tripod. Shit. That's funny.
And ladies in the audience, get your paper towels ready.
That's right.
Or men of a certain desire.
So yeah, I always not pushed people, but I would always push towards buying as a first product. If you were looking for shit in B&O, buy a B&O TV. Start from there. There you are. Boss up. Doesn't have his headphones on, I guess.
Can you see me?
We can see you.
Yay!
Oh yes. Hey.
There we go.
There you are.
How was traffic? Are you still alive?
Still alive so far.
Nice. Are you working today? It's Sunday.
No, not working today. No, I've been doing some stuff in the garden today, moving some stuff around, and then we have to have a traditional Sunday evening game of Among Us with the kids.
So there it went.
There it went.
Nice. That's funny. So what's new?
Let me just grab my phone. Sorry, ill-prepared. I can see comments then. I can still hear you.
Right on.
Speaking about other projects. How about one of these?
Oh, for the love of God. Why?
Because it's wonderful.
Yeah, and it can remotely control a beogram. So.
Yeah. What is it? 3200 or 3000?
2300.
Yeah.
2300. Oh shit, bro. That's so old.
The one with the laser that goes straight up and down.
Doesn't I forget what the 3200.
It goes on a semi moon.
Oh, like a half moon?
Yeah.
My mom don't like it. I have a 3200. My mom she does not like it. She wants that Bio Center 2 back. So I need to
the lady bird.
Oh, I'll do what Herr Vagabond says. Hello, John from B&O Manchester.
I'm just watching
John,
your
we need the
advert.
proper B&O Manchester greeting. Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
But 2300, fucking fab, and dicking around with cables, and it works from the aux out to the BeoMaster 5000 with a PowerLink cable where you pull the center pin out.
Yeah, and then use it as the CD player on the Beo 5000 system. Yeah.
This will all change within time, and since people that have been with us long enough, the whole post-Nord saga has finally concluded.
They are shocking at the minute. They are.
What? They're going to get you a new turntable?
No, they're going to give Eric his money back. So I can keep
for shipping?
Yeah.
So what is he going to get? Like 7 kroners back or some shit? Like
that's what they tried, yeah. They literally said the price you agreed on with your friend is of no use to us for assessing the value lost in shipping.
Because what, they got their own local expert that's going to say, oh,
Yes,
this ain't worth shit.
because it's electronics, and therefore it loses value a lot quicker. So therefore we deem it to be about €100 or whatever equivalent.
That is such horseshit, because the insurance does the same thing here with the, like, oh yeah, well, this is electronics, they depreciate. I'm like, yeah, but not everything depreciates in the same rate, man. You know what I mean?
Tell them it's a BeoGram 4000C.
They weren't around at the time. But yeah, that was absolutely horrible. But anyway, one of the few things that's still intact about that BeoGram is the internal PCB. So I'm going to have to put over to the 5000 or 5500, so it'll have a preamp built in, and then I can get rid of the master and have the 2300 be the master.
Can we all say hi to Molly, by the way?
Hi, Molly.
Hey, Molly.
Hi, Molly Unlimited.
So why are you convoluting your system like that? What possessed you to do all that?
Because at the time I got rid of my BeoSound.
Logic.
It's not my logic, but my logic. At the time I got rid of my BeoSound 9000. I got dirty looks because we needed to have a CD player in the house because we have some CDs.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. You have a girlfriend.
Since this is here, it's like, I never said that. Why do we have this? Well, I never said that. I didn't want a CD player. It's like, what? So now somehow it was my idea for getting a CD player again.
Good.
So
that's so funny.
It's I don't know. It's one of these things. Anyway, it's less convoluted if the BeoMaster is finally gone and this has the preamp built in. And then
then you just pipe it directly into the 2300?
Yeah, and then from the 2300 into the 50s.
Because the 2300 can remotely control the BeoGram. Only that one and the Overture can do it. After that, it didn't work.
Really? That was it, eh?
3000 and 3200 won't do it.
And then I can have everything on one remote, which is amazing. Instead of having to use that enormous brick over here.
Mm.
Well, the master control panel, yeah.
But yeah, the 2300 and the Overture, they send A.aux and phono as the command out on at the same time. So
if anybody is looking for this thing, it has a fairly new, what is it, D cell batteries in it, like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, 4 of them.
Bluetooth 4.0.
I mean, it's the whole display and everything is still functional, so it is.
What a great idea, though. Hey, like Japanese were sticking all these buttons and shit on the receivers and making it all busy, right? And being like, yeah, we'll just take that and put it on a panel that you can have with you.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like it. Even the hinging on it, like it's just mechanically awesome.
I mean, I also have
given the fact that it's 30 years old now and it still works.
Yeah,
but the electronics depreciate.
It's nearly 40 years old.
Wow.
Oh, no, yeah,
87?
85.
Holy cow.
But it still works, and the panel has kept up.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny though, like I was at one of the client's house. I hung the 9000 on the wall that he bought from me. He got his house robbed. They went out for dinner, and somebody cleaned their house, basically took out all his watches, ripped off the 9000 off the wall, take the lap 3s because they were on table stands. Basically cleaned him out in 2 hours that they went out for dinner. And this was years and years and years ago, and he's been always after a 9000. So I finally hung it on the wall, and the kids came down to look at the 9000 because that was before they were even born. And then I asked them, so how old are you? How old are you? Right? And they're like, 15 and 14 and whatnot. And I look at them like, this CD player was built in 1996. And they both just like mind blown, right? Like this thing is like 8 years older than you are. They're like, wow. But yeah.
So what's that you got there, Mike? Is that a remote commander?
It's the Terminal 5000.
Terminal 5000. I have one of those.
Wow.
So it's the T5000.
Yeah.
That's right, and it's got that's a 9-volt battery, guy.
Yeah. So since it's a T5000, it goes up, up, down.
What was the first remote was ultrasonic one?
Yes.
Yes. Mm.
And
I think I
dogs
have one
would
of
bark
those.
and cats would go away.
I remember the old man in the shop, like he was reminiscing when they first opened this B&O store in Calgary. It was a shop in shop, and they were selling the turntables, right? And because it's an ultrasonic one, you don't have to point at anything, right? You just press the button, this thing screams the frequency, and it does this, right? So they would mess with the customers. They would come in, it's like, oh yeah, this turntable is voice control. So you go play music, and then you just play behind his back. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. In back mid-80s, right? So yeah, you can mess about with people. I remember you remember the range reducers, John, on the
The
BO4s?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The
with the
little
little
thing
clip,
with
yeah.
the hole in it. Yeah.
The little caps, because like
Yeah.
otherwise you're
Reduce
blasting the whole store.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I remember that. Especially when you option program like 7 products in one, because just going
Yeah.
everything blink.
When a customer would come in with their remote, oh, I'm having a problem with my remote, and they start pressing buttons. It's like, oh no.
Fire up everything in the shop. Yeah.
Oh, good question from Stephen S. there.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the stage, and what's your preferred EQ setting for music and movies? Do you just use the music and movie presets, or do you tweak the settings? I've been using none presets for all, so no preset. Can you even do
Yeah,
that?
You've got music, movie, speech, none. I tend to use movie for games and TV and movies, and I use none for music. I just found the music. I think it's just my room. It's a bit of a bass trap, and music's a bit too much. I find none is more like a stereo pair of speakers rather than doing any processing. So for music,
It's flat, right? More or less.
Yeah, it's kind of flat. Yeah, it's. I use the Biosonic just to lower the bass ever so slightly. Yeah, so none on music, movie for everything else. But that's just me.
I never really messed about with equalizers on anything. I just like.
Yeah, normally I'm
Chef
flat.
Martin does a great job in my ears.
Yeah, everything's flat, but it's just to adjust because my room's not huge, and I'm against the back wall, so the bass can be a bit too much. So I have to sort of tweak it down a little touch. But other than that, the other speakers I've got are all, and the headphones are all completely flat.
Well, with
Yeah,
the
I never
stage, I
really
use
played with
TV for TV, movies for movies, and music for music.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's quite simple.
Yeah.
I do tweak it because in the bedroom, since it's not a big room either, I do take some of the bass out, especially with the more modern sort of Dolby Atmos tracks. The bass can get a bit much at times.
I don't know. I never really messed about with it. Don't really need it. Never really added bass. So I never understood the people. Same like in the Audi when I was working. You know, people buy the B&O system. First thing they do, go to settings, treble all the way, bass all the way, subwoofer all the way. I'm like, you haven't even turned the thing on, bro. Why do you do that?
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be like. Then they wouldn't they just do it like that then, to put it all the way then for you? Like there's a reason for this, you know. Like if you're listening to 80s rock, yeah, you might want to slide the bass a little more because it wasn't invented back then. But you're not going to listen to the modern music with your license plate rattling off of the back of the trunk.
Nice and chaffy.
So stupid. Yeah, people like that just irritate me, man. Like, why do you need to, or do they have the need to go and or full volume on everything? Right?
John, by the way, I have a question from you from the forum from TrackBio. He was wondering, does B&O tell you what changes in firmware? And since a lot of firmware has been changing from 1.8 X point X yada yada, and now everything is on 2.0. What's the major change? Because usually the first number going up is a massive change.
Yeah, normally, yeah. I normally get, if I look, I can get release notes. So there is a log I've got access to, which tells me which each software update has done. Normally,
what calls to prepare for from clients.
Yeah. So normally it's just little bug fixes, or there's been an error reported and they fixed it. But if it's a big change, like recently on the Mozart platform with the stereo pairing and the halo adding on and all that sort of stuff, then I'll get a whole sort of bulletin thing saying, look what we've done, this is amazing. So we're prepared for it. But yeah, I can find out. So if somebody does ring and ask, I can find out within a couple of minutes.
Yeah. But
yeah, the software versions, usually it's a big mystery, like something updated. The only thing that I get irritated is when it updates one of the Bluetooth dependent via remote speakers, and then it neuters my light and presets. It resets that. It did it to me almost every single time the software update came about, which I'm kind of shudder. Like I shudder to think that if I have all these clients that have B&O remotes with all the gateways in them, and now I'm going to start introducing these newer products, right? Like I just want to have a level for my patio, so they connect their remote to it, and all of a sudden it squeegees clean the freaking all my lights and curtains and whatever have you, right?
Yeah,
it's not nice.
Frederick says, wasn't this related to GVA? And I was about to say, isn't this related to now being able to play nice with Mozart?
Yeah, it's partly that, and there is an update to Google Services, which is pending or already happening.
Weren't you happy about that? No more general volume control.
I'll get round it.
Well, you need licenses everywhere now.
It was M3, M5, and all sorts of older speakers as well, just getting ready for that Google change.
Yeah, I remember the all volume control. That was silly. That didn't really work that well, in my opinion.
Hey, Christian.
Hey, Christian.
Hi, Christian. He says, within the next week, there should come an article on all network connected products with release notes on the support page.
There you go.
Within the next week, not weekend.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sweet. That will actually be super helpful. Because I think
I like to know that nerdy stuff. Like, I want to know what updated. Is it weird that I want to know that?
No,
I'm always interested.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole thing we complain about, that there's no communication? Like, stuff changes and nobody knows what?
Is this going to be a new video series now? Hello, John. Use your software. Oh, shit.
And a question from Twitch. Are you drinking Guinness, John?
I am indeed. Just a little cheeky Sunday night Guinness. Why not? I've got one left in the fridge and it was nice and cold. And I thought, I'm joining the chaps. Can have a little Guinness.
Might as well have a brew.
Why not?
That's right.
That estate, that Guinness estate in Ireland is actually kind of nice. It's really quite pretty, been there.
I've not been.
It's worthwhile. You'll have to go over water, so I know that'll make you scared.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they probably have a bridge, don't they, from Scotland to Northern Ireland somewhere?
Well, I think I'm going to end up going to Denmark this year. So.
Really? Finally?
I think
have you applied yet for a bloody passport?
Not yet, but I will.
Oh yeah, because you're now Brexited, so you can just go and stuff.
Well, you can't go without a passport anyways.
No, I don't even have a passport, you see.
Right on. Are you going to the factory?
Yeah.
Sick.
When they do the next
you gotta steal an umbrella, bro. Keep the tradition. You gotta steal an umbrella.
I have got one, but I'll steal another one.
Molly can hear you in the kitchen.
Yeah, shit. I'll show it.
Nice. I like that Molly's here, keeping an eye on you. You can't go too crazy.
Yeah,
it keeps Willie in check. Soon, Molly. Bedtime soon.
Here's my
there it is.
Hey.
Always got at least one in the car.
Yeah, I've got one in the car.
Where is the B&O logo? Right there.
There you go.
Brought to you by Factory 5. Love it. Now I'm gonna get back charged. No, I'm gonna get back charged by B&O for checking their property.
Stock check umbrellas,
Oh shoot! Yeah, it's that, and I also stole a bottle opener. That has to, like, you have got to take at least one bottle opener. If it's they're boasting as the most stolen product in their production, so I'm gonna keep on with it. So yeah.
Question over from Twitch: is there a cheaper way of connecting a BEOLAB 2 with a pair of 8000s than an ALMANDO box for connecting them to a TV?
Absolutely. What's the source? What's going to actually create the music?
A TV.
Just a generic TV.
Yeah, I don't know which type.
Yeah.
But...
If only we knew a connectivity expert.
Yeah. Who do? But yeah,
Willie.
easy way is if the TV's got a headphone socket, then just go to SoundsHeavenly in the morning when the website opens. Drop me a line. There's a little trigger cable that switches on the Lab 2, and then you just go out of the BEOLAB 2 into the 8000s.
I have used that. I have used that little trig switch on an AVR with the BEOLAB 2, and it worked super.
Brilliant. I use it here on my 3000s on the wall
to
work from the PC. So yeah, you can use it with pretty much any speakers.
Can you rob a USB power to trigger the speakers?
Don't go there. It's the same voltage, but most TVs have got horrendously electrically noisy USB rails. So that 5 volt will change from a couple of volts up to 9, 10 volts, sometimes more. So when you switch from internal tuner to Blu-ray or whatever, you get a massive spike on the voltage rail, and the speakers will go.
Oh,
yeah,
I've heard that noise.
Don't ruin the sound for the sake of making a easy wiring. Just use a separate voltage trigger. So
the only thing
I know not to do it, but I figured I'd ask so people in the podcast can also hear it from the horse's mouth that, you know, yes, there is 5 volts on the USB, but
yeah, just don't do it. That's why I don't make them, because if it doesn't work right, then yeah,
it's your name.
Yeah.
So I'm using the USB on the P1 actually to power the Roku. That little mini streamer, like this is a smart.
Oh yeah.
This
I mean, that's fine.
TV.
Use it to power another device that's got its own voltage control input.
That's right. Yeah, but
not for triggering BEOLAB speakers. And in fact, it can actually cause electrical faults on AV receivers if you use the 12 volt trigger and try and plug it into BEOLABs.
The only thing I found with using the BEOLAB 2, because it's got no gain or anything, it's only got that little switch. It's essentially at full pelt all the time. It's relying on the source to control it. So when you connect it to an AVR, you've got to put your levels down to like minus 15 decibels as it tries to put your windows through.
Hello.
It's bedtime. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Take a look at the chat. Your dad is an emoji.
All my life on dream.
That's right. Now you're an emoji. Good times, man. Yeah, another thing that I use USB is on the Avance to power the bloody fans on the inside so the boards don't fry.
That's a good idea.
So that's it's such a simple solution that I don't understand why B&O didn't, not the recall, but they could have made a repair kit, or I don't know, you could call it whatever you want to call it, right? An accessory, service accessory, and have a fan kit in there. Like they made a cooling plate kit for it when you got to take the whole board and everything out to put this little piece of metal in there that is as good as a winter coat to a dead guy. But
yeah,
it
with
kind of
BEOLABs,
works.
don't trigger them from USB or AV receiver triggers.
No. If you're using a receiver, then just use the 12 volt or 5 volt trigger that they have as a trigger proper.
Exactly. It's meant for motorized screens and power amplifiers, things that are designed for that trigger. So BEOLAB speakers will short that 12 volts down to audio ground, which then often overloads the receiver. They're just not meant to work that way.
John, sort of topic of the last probably month or so. Have you heard a lot of grumblings from your customers with the price increases and stuff like that?
Not as much as I thought, to be honest.
Or are
I
they
can
just
see
not
it.
coming?
Yeah,
Just
they're
done
still
now.
coming, thankfully. Yeah. No, it's just most people just accepted it. I don't mention it as such. You know, if somebody's had a quotation before the price increase, Bang & Olufsen were generous enough to let me honour some of them. So they still got what they were quoted, because I can't quote one thing and then put it up. Taking a hit on a couple, but then now it's just that's the price. That's the price. That's what it is. Yeah,
It is what it is, dude.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
You
They're
just
gonna
crack
drop
on
your
now,
margin
isn't
to
it?
keep it going.
That's what it costs now.
It ain't cheap to be cool.
No.
Yeah, but there's a difference between not cheap and excessively expensive. And 50s are getting there, but boy, are 90s getting there fast.
90s, yeah, BEOLAB 90s are.
I still think they're a good deal comparatively to what you would have to spend in order to get that much horsepower
agree.
out of a single set of speakers.
I agree.
That's my argument to it. Like, you can't ever come even close to the looks, the power, the whole presentation. There's none of this shit that I have these huge monoblocks sitting on the ground with the cables that were blessed by Pope Benedict and, oxygen-free copper or whatever, right? Or whatever moon conditions, moon dust and whatnot, you pixie dust on this. And
yeah, where do you get your pixie dust, Steve? You buy it by the
I get it
bucket?
from Canada.
Right, comes from North Pole. You should know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you would never get it, right? And then even if you did, then you have to have a room treatment of some sort, because it wouldn't really treat it on its own. So if you look at it in a perspective of cost versus function and benefit, 90s are ridiculous, but they are still an awesome deal.
Yeah, they were a
for a set of
real
speakers.
gift when they were launched. Although they're not
Yes.
cheap, you were getting so much for the money, as you say. They were underpriced when you start adding up how you would do that same job any other way. So now, yeah, the price has gone up, but you're now looking at something more commensurate with what has actually gone into them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think we're at the stage in the the early 2000s when we had the BeoVision 755s, and B&O was then overpriced for the market. Now I think B&O is probably pitched about right.
Yeah, I agree. It's got more reasonable, but with as a dealer, you've got to weigh it up. The BEOLAB 90s, of how many you sell per year, is it worth that massive outlay of having them sat there taking up real estate in your shop where something else could be there? So that's something Ian and I chatted about. And when these ones go off display, would we replace them? Don't know. I'd like to, because I'd really miss them.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
Well, it's a speaker that I think everybody that likes the brand should at least listen to him once in their lifetime.
Yeah, and then get annoyed for like the next 6 months that you can't
and be
afford
ruined. And be ruined forever, because there's nothing that'll sound even close to it anymore. It's insane. So,
but the good thing is the essence of the way they sound is there in the 50s and is in the 28s to some extent. So for everybody who goes away, sort of crying that they won't be able to afford them in a lifetime, there's an answer there that you can at least work your way up to them. 28s are, they're not BEOLAB 90s, but they've got that same essence in the way they perform. And I think you almost need to hear the potential in the 90s, even if you're not able to afford them. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll never afford 90s, but I still go and hear them just to keep reminding myself just how good things really can sound.
I found we found a new track. It's really odd jazz track, But good Lord, the low frequencies towards the end, just the dynamic range of it. And then someone's ripping on the drums, and the drum kit is way off to your left, way behind the speakers. And there's a drummer there. There's just a drummer there. It's fabulous. I'll try and find what it's called. I'll send it to you.
Sweet.
Brilliant.
You need to try that in the 90s, really.
I will.
It's quite a long track, but the best bit's the last quarter to a third. The last bit is just,
I kind of have an idea what it would be. It's not a new track, is it?
No, I don't think so. I'm going to try that. I'll try and find it for you. I'll send it to Nicky so
I
you can put
think,
it on
what
there.
is it? I have it on the tip of my tongue because we used to play something like what you're describing, and it just goes insane at the end. I forget.
I don't know,
It's
I'm
not
not
something
that
that I
into
would listen
jazz,
to.
but it's fun to listen to.
Depends on which kind of jazz or what kind of jazz. I like Saint Germain, like the older coffee jazz. That's kind of good.
Oh,
Kind of got into it back in the day with the 9000 when I had bought all of their CDs more or less, or the albums that were available here, and they were cool because you had it was always dual discs, so you can have 3 albums, and they look awesome on the 9000 with the CDs in that display. Is that what you found it?
Don't give me copyright struck. You muted yourself, by the way. I think you did too much of that.
You're muted.
There we go. It's called.
Hand in there. That's so funny.
Hey, Molly.
It's Jazz Variants by
That's right.
Ozone Percussion Group.
Ozone Percussion Band. That's right.
Yeah.
That thing is insane. We used to do the Lab 5 demos with it. Ozone Percussion Group. That's right. Jazz Variants. That thing is sick.
It's mad.
The drums at the end, like they would push the cones out of the 5s, man.
Yeah, it's like proper sub bass.
It's an insane demo.
Even just going from 50s to 90s on that track, that really shows the difference of the capabilities between BEOLAB 50 and BEOLAB 90. Because BEOLAB 50 is amazing, but then you go to BEOLAB 90, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, Ozone Percussion Group.
Just the low frequency punch it's got, that control it's got, super low down. It's amazing.
I was trying to think of the track that I heard. Fly to the Concrete Hippo by Bela Fleck and the Flecktones.
I'll try it.
That's that's got really nice low bass all through. That's
the Ozone Percussion Group. I'll never forget that. I exactly knew what you were talking about. I remember that track is insane. It's about 7 minutes long.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end, it's insanity.
Yeah.
I think I put the Lab 5s in the protection mode with that track a couple times. I think I did.
Yeah, John, that Kraftwerk track you recommended, that was absolutely awesome. I normally hate
Isn't it
Kraftwerk.
good?
Which one?
Good. It's is it Reform Generation, something like that? Or Generation Reform, something like that. It's
Reform Regeneration.
That's it. That's it. Because it starts off sort of focused and dull, and then as it progresses, it gets wider and wider. And then if you're on something like 50s, 90s, even the stage does it in there.
Yeah.
It just goes way, way wider than the speakers and almost to the size of you. And then the bass comes and it's a great track.
It's funny how even old music is still good.
But isn't it mostly about the mastering in the end versus the...
Yeah.
I mean, stuff recorded on tape isn't bad per se. It's the mastering. It's
but the Kraftwerk was electronic, right? So I don't know. I think it's different to record digital music, but they still, I guess, recorded an analog on tapes, right?
Yeah, because that's like 1980s stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, like Jean-Michel Jarre, like everything was more or less electronic. He's insane. Like I have a DVD. What's his Oxygen tour?
Yeah.
And it's that old fucking 3D when you have the red and blue glasses on, so you can actually see it in like, it's weird, man, but it's so interesting how like all this shit that's playing, there's a dude sitting there and that's the beat guy, right? He's just sitting there. It's just wow, man.
Love it.
Those red and blue
right?
glasses are still better than those active glasses.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than those active glasses with
the
bloody
flicker.
shutters.
Yeah. Like watching a fly. Like watching a fly in front of you. It's not fun.
I think Equinox is still one of my favorite albums of all time.
By who?
Jean-Michel Jarre.
Oh,
right from beginning to end, it gives me goosebumps. I love it so much.
And best of all on vinyl, where you've got that stereo ambiophonic crackling from the
yeah. And I did have I think it was a DVD. I used to work in Nantwich. Used to do it on the BEOLAB 5 in the cinema. It was, I can't remember what it was called. It was Jean-Michel Jarre, but you remastered them, and it was in DTS. I'm sure it was DTS. It was in full DTS surround sound. It was just the on the screen. It was just like an overexposed frame of a lady's eyes, and it was filmed as she was listening to the same music that you're listening to, so you can see her eyes are reacting with what you. It's a bit pretentious, but it was amazing.
Two A9 questions. First, Stephen says, I have a contour, listen to music on that. Do you think an A9, does it sound better music-wise or roughly the same?
It's close, that. I like my stage with music.
I like my stage too, but an A9 is better, in my opinion, for music.
Yeah.
But if you want it as a TV speaker, an A9, don't get a stage.
No.
The only limitation with the A9 is just the physical stereo separation.
Yeah, that's it.
Great. But as a point source speaker, I love the tone of it.
Oh, it's amazing. It'll fill a big space as well. It's got plenty of room, but I like the stereo.
Yeah.
If I sit and listen to music, I'm sitting and listening to music in the living room. That's why I like the stage so much, because it's almost a pair of speakers.
Yeah.
Whereas an A9 isn't. But to fill a space when you're doing other stuff, A9's awesome.
And then Frederick has a question. If anybody on here would know why an A9 Mark IV with GVA doesn't have an option to limit max volume, that would be nice. Tried it on a forum without much result, but the Mark III did have the max volume limit.
Limiter? That's interesting.
I thought
I
it was
didn't
in there.
know that. No.
I think they just forgotten to put it in there.
Unless it's part of the Google Home app as they're setting in there. I'll have to try.
Yeah, I think I'd want to say, did you set it up in the Google app? Because I've got GVA products that I just don't complete the Google setup. So, and then sorry, John, I hate the Google Spy, but yeah, just set up the B&O side of it. And yes, I always have seen the maximum volume limit.
Have you, Frederick, went to sound settings? You probably see this startup volume and max volume, right? You should be able to pull that back to, let's say, like now. I don't remember if it's there or not. The last time I
what
had
if
an
you
A9...
go on the web interface instead of the bypass the configuration page on the app?
That's a good shout.
And try it on a I guess a desktop version of it. Go actually to the IP address of the A9 and see if you can configure that under sound settings.
Well, that's the point. Let me just have a look on the see, because there's only certain options in the web interface.
Also not in the web interface. Okay, so you went up and down and left and right with it. So
write B&O letter or John.
That's weird. That's probably just a weird oversight that they just missed it. Because that makes no sense. Why?
Yeah, if Christian's here, he might know.
See if that works.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I can't see it in the web interface, but
yeah, because the stage has it.
Yeah, all my other products have got that maximum volume limit.
Yeah.
It could be an oversight.
Oh, you even contacted B&O without response. Right on. Well, at least you got some response from us.
As per usual. Oh, somebody on the forum decided to make a thread about the rattling Halo gate. And 1 out of, was it 5, 6 people got a response, and it's supposed to rattle.
Now it's supposed to rattle now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to move it other than like that. So if you walk around with it and it rattles, yeah.
That's touche, Hunky.
Yeah.
I don't like that version.
Apparently
of,
mine
answer.
that doesn't is weirder because, yeah, the rattling is...
Yeah, you should recall it. You should return it back and get the loose ring. Get little jigglies in there. But, yeah, I don't know. I like Halo. I just need to get my BeoLiving intelligence, for God's sakes, man. I need to get that in here so I can actually do lights and all that nonsense. Which there's not going to be much time to do it with anyways, because at the end of March, this department is going to be done. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to take a picture of all the holes after I take the shape down.
Oh, yeah. That's some
12 tiles. 12 tiles, 6 holes per tile.
Yeah.
It's gonna look like a freaking Italian gang shot up a place, for God's sakes.
Yeah, 1950s Italian gang.
That's right.
Like with Tommy guns that they shoot like that.
Tommy gun wallpaper, that's what this is. For God's
So
sake.
this is the web portal. The left is BeoSound 2 and the right is A9 Mark IV. Yeah, that's bizarre.
Is there a non-GVA BEOLAB 28?
So Christian says Google
Yeah,
Assistant
BEOLAB
products.
28s.
Google
not
Assistant
GVA.
products do not have the max volume setting. Always buy non-Google Assistant.
Yeah. We can't get non-GVA, Christian, or I can't. I want emerges as non-GVA and they don't exist. I think that's the same with 28s.
Yeah, no, your emerge level balance you can have as non-GVA. There are non-GVA versions.
In stock.
Moving on. The BEOLAB 28s are not GVA anyway. They're only non-GVA.
Yeah, that's the trouble, because I did check. I was in Selfridges the other day and said, got any non-GVA 28s? And no, never seen any. And I thought I think they are Google only.
Yeah, they're still Google because the calibration stuff. But yeah, they haven't got voice assistants or anything like that.
But
You
yeah, my
taught your daughter
GVA
well with the shilling and subscribing Molly Unlimited.
Oh God.
She's doing it.
Yeah, all my GVA products have got maximum volume limit. But I would buy.
I don't have my level
non-GVA
here because I got rid of it already again. But so I can't check. That's the only GVA product I have. Everything here is
Yeah, I have the same
dumb.
issue. I don't have GVA stuff, so I can't check.
Am I the only one that loves GVA?
Yes.
Yes, I think you are.
No, not really. I like Google Assistant. I run my entire house off of it. I just don't have it in every product. I just don't have it in every product, and I don't like it having it in every product. It's kind of weird though too. Like level sits right beside me, and I go, "Hey, bastard!" Right, and it's coming out from the other side. You can't say the G word, right? And this like kind of turns on, and then it's just okay. Well, no, he's got it. I'm like, what? Like I'm talking to you, man. I'm actually looking at the product, but it comes from something else. So I'm gonna order another level this time, the one that I'm gonna keep, and I will order without the GVA in it.
If you're in the store, you have to remember when you've set them up and done the calibration, turn the mics off, and only have one. You get one lucky one that keep their Google Assistant, because otherwise, none of them know which to. You got 12 GVA products all chirping in.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. It gets too convoluted, right? So
yeah, I just normally mute them all except one.
And quite honestly, like the I guess the little Google speaker pod that I've had ever since, I guess, I integrated the Google Assistant to it. That thing can hear you like yelling from even like 2 rooms over.
Yeah.
It's pretty nifty. And sometimes you're standing right in front of it, and it's like, I didn't get that, but you could hear me from the toilet the other day. Like,
see, I don't know whether if I got a level for the kitchen, I don't know whether to get a non-GVA or GVA and just mute it, because I've already got the Nest Hub Max screen thingy, so I don't want 2 in here. But then I think if I get one without a GVA, I'm someday going to regret it when it goes to live in a different room. First world problem.
Peace and quiet.
I
Peace and quiet. It's
what I
better when
don't
it's
like about
not
it.
shouting at you.
You know what? I'm okay with Google as it is. Shit's already being spied on you left, right, and center. Anyways, man, they know everything about you, what you eat,
Yeah, but
whatever.
not only that,
Who cares?
with the B&O ones, you get your microphone is off. Please turn the microphone on.
Oh man, that at least give her a sexy voice, if something, right?
Oh, the UK one sounds nice.
No, we got like Theresa Tam or something. Your microphone is off. Like, come on, why don't you just plug your freaking tricky atomy to get a nice voice out of you or something? Jesus Lord, I hate it. Yeah, sounds like a freaking McDonald's drive-through. Hate it.
Yeah, but it's great for when you visit somebody who's got Google products. And all the little Easter eggs
You're
you can
evil,
leave for them
Steve.
when they're not in the room. That
You're evil.
Yeah. Hey Google, at 2 a.m. remind me I'm scared of the dark.
Oh God. 2 in the morning comes along. Because you don't see that anywhere as a timer, right? It's in the Google. Hate it. You know what? I'd rather go with Google than Alexa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alexa's demonic.
I've had both, but I've had both, but Google, I much prefer Google.
But
It ties in
think-
better with my stuff. I've got Google Assistants. I've got I use Chromecast to stream the music. I've got the Chromecast Ultra on the TV that does 4K with YouTube and all that sort of stuff. And then I've just got a Google Pixel.
Shit, I gotta get you like a night rope with the Google logo on it for you're roaming around the house.
Yeah. As someone who doesn't use any voice assistants but visits people who do, Alexa is my favourite because you can whisper to it and it'll whisper back, so you can go, "Hey Alexa, in 4 hours, say I'm under the bed."
See, now that I know, all that shit would be in the drawer when you come over my house.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have no demons coming up at 3 a.m. when you giggling on your way home. Fuck. It's not happening. That is mean as shit, and gave me an idea.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna do it to Nick when I come over his house next time.
Look at you.
When we go
feeding
for a
his
cigar,
demons now.
I'm gonna just go and I'm just gonna do something like that at 3 o'clock.
You know, the best thing of all, it's when you're on a live podcast and you can go, "Hey Google, order Prosecco," and potentially 59 people could have that happen.
I thought
Only we got
Steve was a
watching,
nice
yeah,
man. I thought he was a nice, generous, kind-hearted soul.
Yeah.
That is evil.
Oh, it's after 8 p.m. in UK time.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I like the Googles. It works fine. What I don't like that it stopped working with the BeoLink gateway. So if I turn off, like I say, turn off the kitchen light, it'll turn off the hues, but then it says, "Sorry, I can't get the BeoLink gateway cannot be reached at this time." I don't know what Google did or something updated, and it's not working anymore.
Did you used to have to use the IFTTT?
I have the IFTTT paid service as well. It doesn't go through it either.
Yeah, I've not used Google to control
Actually,
it.
sorry, it will go through IFTTT, but I haven't made those macros. I'd have to make because all the macros for IFTTT only work in the general column, right?
Yeah.
If you assign them to the rooms, then you're out to lunch. So yeah, I have a freaking 6 screens worth of scrolling for the general column for all the voice commands and everything else that I do. But I kind of don't feel, well, I'm in less than, well, almost 2 months I'm out of here anyway. So what's the point of programming that in there now? Yeah. Where in a few weeks I'll be ripping out all the switches. So it's gonna be fun to go back to clicker switches. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Works.
I despise regular lighting. After living with the lighting control system for 10 years, dude, I would give up BNO before I would give up the damn lights in the house. I swear to God.
Those are fighting words.
No, that's the last thing that's coming out of this apartment is the lighting system coming out. Well, the last thing is going to be the 90s because they're heavier than cardinal sin, but the lighting system is definitely something that I would never give up. And my mom's on my case too, because I have to go and install the Lutron in her place. Because, you know, it started off me living with her 11 years ago, and I put all the shit in there. And then I was moving out. I'm like, I don't think that it's going to go well if I just like take all this out and give her clicker switches again, right? So I'm just going to leave that here. I'm going to eat the $3,000 and I'm just going to buy another system again, start over in the apartment. And it happened. That's exactly how it happened. So now my mom has a lighting system. I'm thinking of giving her the gateway, like get the MASTERLINK gateway in there. Old school. She's got a BB9 still. That TV's probably going to outlive both of us. Vision 9.
I'll tell you what, that was a learning curve, wasn't it? The original MASTERLINK gateway.
Oh my God.
We were sampled it in the shop and it's just given to me in a box. Yeah, there you go. Set that up, what?
I can put it into power.
It literally was that, yeah. Like, what next? Big folder like that. All right, you do this first, then you have this box for this, and then 15 cables to connect that to that, and then an IR thing, and then you have to go. Would you have to go around switching things on in order or something? I remember something like that. You had to switch it on, and it'd blink, and then it'd go off, and you go to the next product. It took me a week
to pair the MASTERLINK products. Yeah,
something like that. I can't remember now. It was a long time ago.
You would start off with the linked rooms, and you end with the master.
That's right.
And you go from whatever 3200, press radio, dink radio.
Yeah.
Fucking blinks on your thing. I'm like, sweet, right? And and even like to get the MASTERLINK synchronization, right? That took like 5 minutes for it to like initiate the process. So you're sitting there, you know, this thing is blinking at you and like nothing's happening, right? And you're standing there like a dweeb. Is this going? And like, there's no noise, there's no fans, there's no TikTok or something, nothing. All of a sudden, okay, now go around the house and pair stuff. I have a guy that had a MASTERLINK gateway with 16 freaking zones in it.
Oh, nice.
Dude, that was, and I got it programmed in a day. All of it. With the Lutron lighting and all that. It wasn't like super complex and, you know, macros like I have when I walk into the bedroom or the bathroom, then the lights come on and off. You kind of can't do that with the gateway or with the MASTERLINK, because like the only thing you could do is if you had passive kits, then you can trigger the volume up so it kicks in the radio or whatever is playing, and then you can just shut it down with the standby command. I guess that would be the only way to work around it. But you couldn't do it with like a 3500 that actually needed a proper source, right? Because then now you're screwing up with whoever's watching something on the other side or whatever it is. So yeah, there were some limitations to it, but boy, it was cool as shit, man. That was 2008 when that came out.
Yeah, it was
2009.
The satisfaction when I finally got my head around how it worked and got it working and actually doing stuff, it was like, oh, this is amazing. And then when the new one come out, it's like you don't need all these extra switches and boxes, and it's just one thing, and you just plug a network in and boom. And it's like, nah, no way. But yeah, it was awesome.
Well, just the thought of like people that you know, they bought the 9000 that it's been hanging on the wall since, let's say, early or late 90s, right? And all of a sudden, like, yo, man, there's this little black box like this. Then you plug the MASTERLINK in it, and you can put your 9000 control on the phone. You're kidding me. Yeah, no, here, click. Holy shit. And that's when we started selling them quite a bit. I fell in love with the MASTERLINK gateway. the moment I've seen how it worked and what it could do. And then, you start going deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, and then all of a sudden you get to the end of it because that's the limitation. But then they came up with the BeoLink gateway, which was obviously new protocol. Oh, dude, miles, man! Now all of a sudden you can have IP cameras as a menu on a screen. Like, holy shit, right? Yeah, the old MASTERLINK gateway would do it too, but it would basically just switch into the camera source, right, which would be an input. But that's the kind of shits, because if you have somebody ringing the doorbell and the TV is off, right, it's going to take, like, if it's a delivery, you'll have the pizza guy paid out before the TV fires up the source, right, because it just takes forever. So it kind of had it kind of had its function, but it's cool versus logical factors were at that point not clearly defined, in my opinion.
By the way, John, what's your public statement on the gold tone? Do you love it?
That's a no.
Personally, for me,
yes.
No, I wouldn't really have gold, but, and I used to be quite critical of gold, but I fairly recently got a gold Contour 55 on a table stand, and it in the right place, in the right house, it will work. It looks so expensive. It just looks like proper premium class. It really looks smart, but not for me personally. But I can see why some people would like it. Yeah, it's. I mean, I like the balance in gold. Balance with the gold and the oak. I think it's gorgeous.
Have you seen 50s in gold yet?
No, not in the flesh.
Do you like the 28s in gold with the sort of weird whitish fabric?
Not seen those either. I've only seen silver, I've seen anthracite, I've seen the bronze tone. All looks quite nice.
Yeah, I think for me, B&O stands for the aluminium. That's the colour that works.
Silver, black, grey. It goes with everything forever. It's always Bang & Olufsen. I like it, but I quite like the modern oaks and silvers, and I like the black anthracite. The black anthracite stage looks awesome.
I'm a silver. I'm with Steve on that. Aluminium all the way, man. I've never owned a colored product from B&O as far as that is concerned, other than the A1, which was in green, the little burger, but they at the time didn't make silver.
Is it almost too hard if you're a new B&O customer that your first color choice is basically going to be your B&O color for the rest of your life if you intend on keeping it?
I tend to find people who've been customers for a long time tend to stick to silvers and blacks, but then newer customers tend to prefer the oak. But I have a good mix. I have a really good mix of people who like the traditional silver grey, and then I have people
but they probably started with silver grey, and then it's like, but if I buy this new stuff in this other color, it won't match. So therefore, I have to buy silver grey again.
Yeah, there is a lot of that. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, you keep the B&O theme within the house, right? You're not gonna just go with gold TV in a room that it doesn't fit, but everything else is silver around it. It would look weird, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I had a customer who he's having a Harmony 77 and a pair of BEOLAB 28s, and he wanted smoked oak on the BEOLAB 28s, so that's fine, but you can't have smoked oak on the Harmony unless you have it brass. Yes, brass, and he didn't want a brass Harmony, so I said you can have walnut and bronze, and then you can have your speakers to match, but you can't get the BEOLAB 28s in brass. So in the end, we'd settled on bronze and walnut for both sets, and it's going to look nice. But yeah, it's annoying.
Wait, you didn't tell him about the bespoke program?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, for the covers of the Harmony, technically you could do it because you just unbolt the whole panel and swap the wood over.
So hang on a second, John. So how does the ordering work now? Do you order, let's say I want to get an Eclipse, right? So from what I remember on the ROS, you go with the Eclipse. Say you're going to go 55 or 65 inch panel. Then you go 65 inch soundbar. Then you order, and then you pick the color of the soundbar, I guess. But back then it wasn't possible because it was only a silver TV, right? When it first came out. and then you would have a plethora of speaker covers to pick from.
Yeah, the Eclipse is the same. So the Eclipse, you have your sound center, your stand or bracket with matching colors. Any color front you want of what's available, your screen mount for the back, and then the LG OLED screen. The harmony is a little different, where you can only have silver oak, gold light oak, bronze walnuts, and brass and smoked oak. So they're the only color choices. Unless you go bespoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But weirdly, bespoke is more expensive than buying 2 sets of covers and swapping over the oak and
Yeah,
or
I suppose because
aluminium.
they're being specially made rather than just being 2 stock products.
Yeah, I mean, you'll end up with another set of wing covers that nobody will probably ever want, but because, I don't know, let's say you want the smoked oak and bronze or whatever it is, or one of the non-standard ones, then you'll end up with a weird color combination that nobody ever has. I guess you could sell it back again as bespoke, but...
Yes.
Well, I definitely will end up buying 2 grill covers, because once I'm in Florida, I'm going to get a Harmony. And I want walnut with silver, because everything is walnut and silver.
Oh, that would look so gorgeous. Walnut silver. The walnut is gorgeous.
Yeah. The walnut is absolutely the nicest wood that they B&O has in their portfolio now. Like, I don't know, I'm not a big oak guy, I guess. It's too light for me of a wood. But that, and I'm going to have to sell my BEOLAB 90 panels and order the walnut ones, because I have the light oak and smoked oak. I'm going to have walnut. I'm going to have 3 sets of panels, and I don't use any on just one, right? So hopefully I can get rid of those. That's not something that you can sell every day at all. Like, who do you sell the panels to?
Alicia Keys.
But, yeah. Ooh, that went deep.
But then they'll be mounted crooked.
That's probably what they broke off the pegs off of them. Yeah, walnut. I would go walnut and silver level would be also awesome.
Oh,
I think that B&O should make a walnut cover.
Oh, that's a popular one. The number of stores I've been into where they've swapped the covers over and put the walnut on the silver. Yeah. Looks way better, I think, than on the sort of gold tone.
Yeah.
We got sent an extra cover recently for that purpose, so we can swap them over if you want to.
For anybody that didn't watch us last Monday, I've gone wall bracket for my 18, and it's bloody lovely. It's even better than the floor stand. I thought, oh, this will just be out of the way and it'll be fine. But then once I actually did it, was like, damn it, I should have done this sooner. I mean, this is fantastic. It's so much lighter like this.
Yeah, I think the only time I prefer the floor stand on the 18s and the 8000s is when they're in a room corner, and you can turn it so that you angle the speaker in. Yeah, that just looks so nice.
Well, you can still turn them on the wall bracket.
Oh yeah, but just
it
having
looks
that,
weird.
Yeah, that base block in the right into the room corner, just that's when it works really well.
It looks weird on the wall bracket because when you turn it, then the cable exposes, right? Because it's pulling it out of there's a.
You don't want to see the cable.
I don't want to see the cable. Not even if it's yours, I don't want to see it in there. I don't want to see anybody's cable. I ripped out the Avant yesterday, packed it all right. The guys went, and I get home, and I'm standing around like I can't fucking look at these wires. So it's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm ripping up the 90s panels and I clean everything up. Like, I can't look at this, dude. This is not how this works here. So yeah, it's off. The 90s are turned off now for good till I move. It's going to be interesting.
Tim over on Twitch said, do you think there'll be a version of the 28s with the same high gloss polish aluminium as the 18s had? And I don't know what your dealer is saying, but my 28s are much shinier than my 18s. maybe much is a bit of an overstatement, but the shine is deeper on 28s than on 18s.
They're sort of brushed, aren't they, rather than mirrored?
I mean, they're both lovely next to each other. They're not exactly the same, but it feels like the anodizing is a lot thicker on the 28s to my eyes, because there's more like of a deep, like freshly polished sort of and wax sort of look to it. Where the sort of 18s go sort of light blue when you put like a bright light on it. The 28s go a bit darker blue almost.
To me, they almost look identical on this picture.
Yeah, well, they are quite close. So that's why I'm a bit surprised why apparently Tim's dealer said that they don't quite match. And it's like what?
What does he have, a 3M foil on him to protect them?
I don't know. Maybe it makes sense if it was the what you call it, the anthracite ones. Like, duh, they don't match.
I've seen them in person. They're shinier than hell, man. Like, they're really shiny.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I was actually surprised how shiny they are, considering that they're machined with those, like, it's grooved, not polished, right? So I don't know, it just looks nicer. I think what it also does, it breaks up the light in such a fashion that you can't really see your weird reflections in it.
Yeah.
I think
you wouldn't want a mirror finish, but it's as near as you can get without giving, like you say, odd reflections and
yeah. So I don't know. I like it. Maybe one day I'll get the 28 as well.
They'll be a lot easier to carry around than your 90s are.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Dude, I shudder to think to even move those things. It's been 6 years since I had to deal with them.
I'll buy
at least
them.
my pair. Yeah, but that doesn't mean shit. I still have to move them, bro.
Yeah, I'll come and move them for you.
It's the moving that sucks. That's the only thing that sucks about those speakers is the move.
Yeah. You're not tempted to sell them to someone local and then just buy some more in Florida?
I also thought about that.
Not with these price increases.
But not with these prices, not for what I paid for them. And also, these are the first set of white sailed speakers that were ever produced.
Keep the sales. Put them on the new ones.
You're a devil's advocate, bro.
Yeah, but then you also have to take the little middle cover plate for that's
because it's all silver. It sucks. But honestly, if I wanted to, I could sell them right away. I have a guy that's constantly hovering over them. But do I? No, not you. Not shipping them to Netherlands. That's two guys then now. But I don't think that I'll ever sell these speakers. Those are forever. That was a good purchase, and that'll always stay with me.
Okay, well, just marry me then.
One of the only things that's the only not only, it's the most expensive thing I've ever bought that I've never regretted buying. You know, some people buy something and then like, shit, I shouldn't have probably bought that. But I never regretted the 90s purchase. It was stupid, as many people would say. Oh my God, man, what would do with this money? I'm like, well, this is what I did with the money. So what? You go live your life, I live mine. Yeah, I could have driven a Porsche with the Bose sound system in it.
Looking at Steve.
Yeah, but it's a flat 6 sound system. It doesn't matter about putting
it's only 6 drivers. You need more. You need 18 drivers aside.
That's right. No, I'm not that I'm not a car guy, but I can justify this over a luxury vehicle, especially in the country I live in. Because how often do you get to drive a very nice sports car? Maybe 3 months out of the year, because you're not going to bring it up too early because we use rocks instead of salt for roads, so you're going to get your paint and windshield shredded.
If the worst comes to worst, you can sleep in your car, but you can't drive your house to work.
Nope. No, you can't.
But your speakers will keep you warm.
I can work from home then. Shit. Like everybody else does nowadays. God damn it. So, I don't know. Shall we call it? Or
you guys on that note, thank you everybody for watching. Like and subscribe. Apparently, Molly is doing a bunch of stuff on YouTube that shilling. So I'll have to subscribe to that later. You raised her well, John.
Funny.
It's hi, it's Molly. Molly Unlimited from Manchester. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good week. We'll be on Twitch tomorrow again at some point, and I'll roll the outro and have a good week.
See you tomorrow on Twitch.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
You know, when this long night will fade away, and we go back to our old ways, two perfect strangers in the skies. When the sound is going to stretch its arms on the road, turn us again with his shrill call into perfect strangers in disguise. But until then,